Kia ora, hello, haere mai, and well, my goodness, there is a lot of yous here today. I'm going to assume that you smooth talkers on the left have come from Dead Kennedy in space, and you spiffy looking bunch on the right have come from Ragical the Unhallowed night. Okay, so before we begin, I would just like to say my hugest thank yous to both Ragical and Dead Kennedy for your mirrors and your shout outs. And of course, introducing these lovely people to me. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get into the show, shall we? So, as always, cue that music. When hell has come for you, and you're falling like a stone. So today we have TheMorgile and his Space is Fake documentary. Now this thing is ruddy long. It's 38 minutes. So I think we're just going to have to break it down and create a series out of it. Anyway, Morgile, you have the floor.
Everyone, John the Morgile here, checking in for another Flat Earth video for you.
Hi Morgile, and what do you hope to achieve from this video?
Hope you enjoy it.
Awesome!
Getting right into it, the Flat Earth awakening is one that started for me personally in April of 2015 or thereabouts. At first, this whole flat earth thing appeared to be completely unbelievable, crazy, and ridiculous conspiracy theory plucked straight from the ravings of a lunatic who clearly didn't know squat about science or astrophysics.
I know, right? You'd have to be a total moron to believe in something as stupid as the flat earth.
And I couldn't believe that during our technological era, people would be so gullible as to believe that the Earth is flat. From my perspective, one of deep interest in theoretical physics, space travel, NASA, and astronomy throughout my life, it seemed like it would be easy to debunk this flat Earth nonsense and be on with my day.
Yeah, well, I'm finding it rather simple.
But some of the arguments for flat Earth raised an eyebrow and actually made a lot of sense.
Only to complete Muppet does this argument make any sense?
Of course, I was still operating from the mindset that infinite space was a real thing. This is one of the biggest problems of coming to terms with the truth, that is to say, considering this topic from within the parameters of the infinite space paradigm. Just as everyone else, I had been profoundly misled about our place in the universe to the point where the concept of infinite space and the heliocentric solar system were ingrained into my understanding of nature.
Okay, so the infinite space or universe theory is only one of many hypotheses that have been put forward to describe or show our understanding of the universe. You'd think someone with a passion for astrophysics would already know this. As for your position in the universe, well, it's here.
The very first piece of evidence which got me thinking that the Earth might actually not be a spinning ball was the fact that the horizon line continues to raise with the observer regardless of altitude.
Now I'm going to call bullshit on this one. Just check out Rory's latest videos and he will demonstrate how this rises to eye level nonsense is exactly that. Fucking nonsense.
We've all seen the high altitude footage of the Curveisen.
Curveisen? That is a cute little name. Is that similar to how we call idiots flatards?
Captured during, for example, the Red Bull Felix Baumgartner jump from space, where we can clearly see the curve of the Earth from about 100,000 foot. To the untrained eye, that would appear to be an open and shut case for the globe Earth. We can see the Earth's curvature from this vantage point, and so the Earth is obviously a globe.
Yes, to most rational people, seeing photos of the curve is pretty good evidence. Much like these photos demonstrate that the apple has curve. But then, flat earthers aren't exactly the most rational of people now, are they?
But when you realize that this is merely a trick of the camera, a fisheye lens which creates the illusion of a curved horizon, also known as Curveisen, it becomes clear that whomever was responsible for directing this shoot was being deceptive.
Or is it that you just don't understand photography? Also, there are plenty of high altitude shots that show the curve that don't use a fisheye lens.
When independent people send up their own high-altitude balloons and cameras, we find that there is no such curvature to be found. This begs the question, why, if there is Earth curvature, would high-profile stunt coordinators need to fake Earth curvature?
They don't on both points. They don't need to fake it, and they don't fake it.
Of course, this doesn't prove the Earth is flat. It does raise some red flags to the interested observer looking into the topic.
You're right. It does only show that you don't understand photography. And if it raised so many red flags for you...
Did somebody say, red flag?
No, not that type of red flag.
Oh. It's never proper red flag. It's never proper, I tell you, never proper.
Oh, great. Now he's sad. I'll be back. Fucking hell.
Well, as Auntie was saying, if this raised so many red flags for you, why didn't you look into it properly? Or were you just hoping no one was going to call you out on your bullshit?
If the Earth is in fact a sphere, there would be no need to fake Earth curvature.
And that's why we don't fake it.
According to the globe Earth theory, the horizon line is a physical phenomenon which is caused by the rotund Earth vertically descending down and away from our vantage point.
Guys, heads up. You may be launching a straw man attack.
In reality, the horizon line is an optical phenomenon which is only subjective and is caused by the convergence of distant objects at the level of the observer's eye.
Stand down. He's just saying more stupid. Okay, the horizon, at its most basic, is the point in which you can't see any further due to the curve.
In reality, the horizon is an optical phenomenon, or an illusion really. The apparent angular size of objects diminishes in direct proportion with the distance from the observer.
Right, I'm back. No more red flag talks, please. Now, what he fails to mention, and this is important, that all those objects will seem to shrink uniformly.
So if you're standing 2 feet away from a telephone pole, it will essentially fill the entire vertical field of view. The same telephone pole 100 feet away will only constitute a few degrees of your field of view.
Yes, and if it doesn't pass behind the curve, it will continuously appear to shrink uniformly.
At a certain distance, the apparent angular size of the same telephone pole will be invisible to the naked eye, or it will be indistinguishable from everything else along the horizon or the vanishing point.
Exactly. So it wouldn't seem to disappear suddenly from the top or the bottom, now would it?
The telephone pole will apparently shrink with distance, and the center point of that shrinking or squishing will always be aligned to your eye level. At a certain distance, the telephone pole will have converged with the horizon, which will also be at the level of your eye.
When looking directly at the horizon.
Now, art classes typically teach an incorrect explanation of perspective, or how to draw in perspective. It is often taught that in order to draw in perspective properly, you choose a vanishing point which acts as a reference point to which all parallel lines jutting out and away from the observer are aligned.
Now, I'm no artist. I couldn't draw a stick figure to save myself. But this photo of the railway lines certainly demonstrates that this teaching seems to be accurate.
This may appear to be an adequate rule of thumb when drawing in perspective, but as stated, it is incorrect. The problem lies with the fact that parallel lines running away from an observer's point of view only converge at the same point if they are equidistant from the center point of an observer's line of sight. For example, the lines comprising this brick wall will converge at various points depending on their distance from your line of sight.
Oh, they all appear to be converging at the infinity, just how parallel lines are by definition.
So, for example, the lines, say, 6 foot above and 6 foot below your line of sight will converge at a given point. whereas the lines that are a foot above and a foot below your line of sight will converge at a different point compared to the lines 6 foot above and below your line of sight.
Let's put this to the test, shall we? Here's Morgile's picture. Now I've added those blue lines in to show that the bricks do form parallel lines that meet at a single point. I wonder why Morgile's didn't. Let's zoom in on his lines and see why. And there it is there. Morgile has purposely misaligned what he's calling parallel lines in order to deceive his viewers. And on that bombshell, I think we shall leave it for today. We will definitely be returning and finishing his documentary in the future though. But thank you so much for watching and making it to the end. If you liked this video, please give her a thumbs up. If you're new here, we really would appreciate the subscription. And if you haven't already, remember, Anti-Flatter has a merch store now. Link to that will also be in the description. Till next time, ka kite.
Rory? I am Anti-Flatter. Think you're the only debunker in the world? You joined a larger universe and you don't even know it yet.
Who the hell are you?
My name is John, and I'm director of the Globalists.
Huh.
I'm here to talk to you about the Shield Initiative.